Jay-Z shoots. I can't remember how many. And then we only had one encounter that was beyond a friendship.
This is it. The brutal story we're about to tell you will drive Queen Bey up the walls. The woman you just heard exposing Jay-Z is Karrine Steffans. Believe it or not, that's about the nicest thing she ever said about him. Oh, and Jay was not the only rapper she got to know. Her alleged past experiences with various names in the industry helped one user in Reddit create one of the site's most infamous posts, a particular list that concerns a lot of rappers. A long time ago, Steffans was working as an exotic dancer and as a model, and she was practically unknown to the general public. But upon meeting rapper Nathaniel Wilson, aka Kool G, and getting into a relationship with him, her whole entourage and life changed. Amidst her tumultuous relationship with Wilson, Steffans started to work as a video vixen in the early 2000s, video vixen being the name given to women who appear on hip-hop or rap music videos back in the day. As fate would have it, her first job as a vixen saw Steffans starring alongside Beyoncé's boyfriend, Jay-Z. Shortly after making her debut in Jehovah's Hey Poppy, Steffans was introduced to the likes of Nas, Dre, R. Kelly, and Diddy. Of course, it wouldn't be a rap story if Bad Boy for Life wasn't involved, right? Before we get to him, though, let's just talk about Steffans and Jay-Z. According to the Vixen, not long after they met each other, they became aware of this tension between them. And on the day they filmed Hey Poppy, out of the blue, they decided to, release that tension a little bit. In a blog that has gone extinct a long time ago, Steffans wrote, "I was one of Jay-Z's Beckys back in the year 2000 for about 3 minutes, which is about as long as it takes me to satisfy a man in the back of a Maybach while overlooking the beaches of Malibu." If you thought no one needed this much detail, brace for more. Jay and I feasted on our attraction to one another, rapidly and quickly. After just a few minutes, I lifted my head from his lap, wiped my lips, and knew we'd made a mistake. Leaving that disturbingly detailed retelling aside, if you're not a die-hard Queen Bee fan and know her discography by heart, you may be wondering what the hell Jay-Z's Beckys are. The name actually comes straight from Beyoncé's 6th studio album, Lemonade, and more specifically from the song Sorry, where Queen Bee introduced the world to his husband's most infamous alleged Becky with the good hair. In case you don't remember or know, the critically acclaimed single ends with Queen Bee singing, "He only want me when I'm not there. You better call Becky with the good hair." Now, it's really difficult to tell whether Becky in Sorry is actually Steffans. Not that she doesn't have good hair, but because the brief sexual experiment with Jay took place, in her own words, pre-Yonsei. The fact that Steffans alleged that Jay had more than one Becky in his life at the time makes this a lot more complicated. Now, we may never get to know which Becky Queen Bee was talking about, but we do know that Steffans herself was Becky for more than just Jay-Z. How do I know? Well, she said so. In the same deleted blog post, she talked about Jay. "I was the Becky for many men, and they were all my salvation and my destitution. They were my reason and my rationale, my life and my death, and eventually, my fame and my infamy." Up until now, if you had the impression that Steffans was this random woman who had an intimate exchange with Jay-Z one time and disappeared from the industry, be prepared to be blown away by the long list of rappers in her past. C. Steffans is actually an incredibly successful author, with all of her first 3 books, Confessions of a Video Vixen, The Vixen Diaries, and The Vixen Manual, How to Find, Seduce, and Keep the Man You Want, having made it to the New York Times bestsellers list. And these books are filled with wild stories about Steffans' encounters with other prominent names in the industry. Believe it or not, there's even a Reddit post compiling all of Steffans' claims about various rappers' genitalia. Now, I won't be going into the details of the said post, but let's just say that Steffans alleges to know some rappers like very few do. I'm talking about big names like Will Smith, Exhibit, and Ja Rule. And that finally brings me to Diddy. Allegedly, Steffans had hooked up with Bad Boy for Life multiple times. Diddy had grown weary of her. That's why, according to Steffans, of course, when Diddy took her and Exhibit to a gay club one night, Diddy told Exhibit to watch out for her because she was, quote, the type of woman who would have you on tape with fingers in your booty. Apparently, Exhibit didn't take Diddy's warning seriously because just a few months later he showed up to a Diddy party alongside Steffans. According to Steffans, Bad Boy for Life looked like he had seen a ghost, and he immediately told Exhibit to take Steffans out of the party. Allegedly, Diddy has always feared that Steffans would be the person to expose the intricacies of his wild parties. As we now know, thanks to all the news reports on the matter, it wasn't her. Could she unveil new secrets about Diddy that we have yet to learn? We'll have to wait for Diddy's trial in May to find out.